What's up, YouTube? Caleb from thebookflipper.com here. We're going to walk you through a couple ways to analyze your inventory with a free spreadsheet that I've put together. If you don't already have the spreadsheet in front of you, head on over to bit.ly/Amazon inventory tool. Make sure you capitalize the letters A, I, and T, and that will bring you to a Gumroad page to download this spreadsheet. Go ahead and do that, and then you can jump in and follow along. It is a free spreadsheet. If you do want to donate a couple bucks for a coffee fund or a diaper fund, as we do have a new little one in the house, that would be very much appreciated. But again, it's free. You're welcome to download it and use it to help get a better understanding on your inventory. So many of you are aware Amazon has changed the long-term storage fees for items, and this especially affects people that have a lot of SKUs in their inventory, specifically book and other media sellers. So a typical bookseller has anywhere from 500 to 5,000 or more individual listings. And the name of the game a couple years ago was simply send in tons of material. If you were the only prime seller, it didn't matter if it was long tail inventory or items that wouldn't sell very often because there weren't any long-term storage fees on if you had one of any item, you got an exemption. About a year and a half ago, Amazon removed the single unit exemption and started charging long-term storage fees at 6 months and 12 months. It wasn't a major deal. The fees did hurt, but again, you could let it sit for 11 months in inventory and only take one additional fee other than the penny or two a month for normal storage fees. Moving forward, my hunch is the warehouses are getting a little bit backed up with lots of stale inventory, and Amazon is going to start no longer charging twice a year for 6 month and 12-month inventory. Starting, I believe, September 15, they're going to be charging us monthly moving forward. Now, the fees are a little bit less. They're not hitting you with the full 6-month fees right at first, but these fees will keep hitting. So it's very important to make sure that you're running an efficient inventory. You're focusing on your turn rates and trying to sell as much as you can, and potentially you're not listing as much long tail inventory. Now, the fees don't really start to hurt as much. The fees will be roughly the same. They've increased a little bit, but not meaningfully. And you can see some posts at thebookflipper.com that kind of break down the fees for individual books. As long as you're selling your material before about 12 to 13 months, the fees are roughly what they were before this new rules were implemented. But we'll walk you through and show you what that looks like. So first of all, if you want to jump in, we'll take a look at your inventory. Go to Seller Central, go to Reports, then Fulfillment. Then over on the left, you'll see Inventory. You may have to click Show More. You'll see something like this. Bring up Inventory Health, go to the download page, and then if you don't already have one set up, if you use any sort of inventory management software like AccelerList, it'll already be pulling these daily for you. Otherwise, you can go ahead and click Request Download. Once you download that, you'll get something that looks like this, and I've got two different sellers that let me have their data to show you how the spreadsheet works, and I want to protect their identity. But you'll get a text file. You can simply go Command A or Control A if you're on Windows or Mac, then Command or Control C to copy that. You're going to bring that into the Paste Inventory Health right here in the corner. Now you'll notice there's nothing to the left. That's all hidden, and that's where all the formulas are. So Command or Control V will paste that data, and then we can go ahead and get some insights. Now, if you're not familiar with the Inventory Health Report, you get a lot of good information. It'll show you all of your current inventory, as well as how old it is, what the current rank is, what the category is, and it will also show you the lowest Amazon fulfilled or prime new price, the lowest prime used, the lowest merchant fulfilled new, and the lowest merchant fulfilled used. So it's a great place to get pricing information. Unfortunately, it's usually a day or 2 or even 3 days old by the time you download it. It's just the way it's stored on Amazon servers. So it's not a great tool to use for repricing purposes, although it does help you get a good handle on your inventory. Again, it's got the age. It'll show you the volume on their shelf space or the cubic feet that it's going to take up, as well as what your current fees are under the old system. Now, as we move closer to September 15, I would imagine this will change a little bit because the fees are going to change. So again, this particular seller has a fair amount of inventory, about 19,000 items in inventory. And there are a couple things we can look at. One, this is going to be generated based on your material. So once you paste it in, you can look at it. Right now it's set up to look at all categories. You can change this to look at individual. So if you just wanted to see what your books were, again, this seller is primarily books. We're going to leave it on all. If for whatever reason there's a category here that doesn't show up, I tried to get as many of them from Amazon as possible. But if you have some additional categories, simply copy whatever the text is here in the product group column and go ahead and paste them anywhere down here, and those will auto-populate into the drop-down menu for you. So a lot of options there. We're going to look at everything. So this particular seller, you can see they have a lot of inventory. 34% of their inventory is between 9 and 12 months old, which is going to be hit with higher fees, especially as we move into the new system. And a good chunk of their inventory is fairly old as well. It's better if you have newer inventory, so you want to see most of your material in the 0 to 6 month type range, maybe a little bit of material, some of your longer tail, more valuable stuff here. And then you, especially moving forward, you don't want to see a lot of inventory over 12 months old. Next is a rank analysis. This is really geared more toward books. You shouldn't have a lot of CDs and toys that are ranked 2 to 3 million. But again, this is, you'll see usually sort of a bell-shaped distribution, which this is pretty healthy. You'll see the more of your inventory that's well ranked is better. This particular seller does do a fair amount of longer tail material. You can see a little over a quarter of their inventory is between 1 and 2 million in sales rank, which isn't crazy high, but it's also not as likely to sell. The reason there's not much in the lower range here is they probably sell it fairly quickly. You can see then about 10% of their inventory is ranked higher than 4 million, and that's what they're going to probably eyeball for fees. Now, moving down, it'll give you an inventory valuation, so you can see an average list price of everything with your current prices, which for this seller is about $10. Total list price, just over $200,000 worth of inventory. Now, you can see how competitive it is. It'll actually pull, again, because the inventory health report has the lowest prime prices, it'll actually show us what the average prime price is, the lowest prime price on these exact same listings. It's not that much lower. It's maybe about 10% less than where they're priced currently at about $930. And then the lowest merchant fulfilled price. So if for whatever reason, especially on the higher ranked stuff, a lot of times you don't want to try and ask for a big prime price premium. So in that case, if you were going to match the lowest merchant fulfilled price, their lowest inventory would be about $733. Now, this is more of a bulk seller. They're buying books by the Gaylord. So that $10 as an average price is not bad, and that's kind of how that system works. If you're going to thrift stores, you don't really want to be selling a ton of $10 books moving forward due to some of the new fees. Now, this will be a good fee estimator. Again, the way it used to work is Amazon charged long-term storage fees twice a year on February 15 and August 15. And they're still going to charge us one more time on August 15, but then starting September 15, the new system's going to kick in. So here's what it looks like. This particular seller has a fair amount of inventory. Almost 40% of their inventory is at least 6 months old or will be by August 15, and about 3,500 units will be 12 months old by August 15th. So a couple months out, a lot of this material will probably sell prior to then. But if they didn't sell a single other item from now till then, here's the fees they're going to be charged, nearly $5,000 in fees. Now that may sound like a lot, but with an inventory of 20,000, they're probably selling anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 books a month at $10 a pop. You're looking at 30 to 40 grand a month. $5,000 is a lot. And it's going to be important to try and price as best as possible to sell, especially some of the older ranked inventory from now till then. Now, the new fees, the way it works is they're going to take a look and they're going to base it on the cubic volume. And if the inventory is at least 6 months old, they're going to charge you, I believe, $3.45 per cubic foot. And if it's more than 12 months old, every 15th of the month, so September 15, October 15, etc., they're going to charge you $6.90 a month. So you can see the fees do add up. This particular seller will get a fee of nearly $5,000 on August 15, and then moving forward every month, so September 15, October, November, etc., they would pay nearly $1,500 a month based on their current inventory. So again, you can see it's very important. Again, it may sound like a lot, but this seller is probably selling a fair amount of inventory. So don't freak out on their behalf. And they're aware of this as well and are trying to sell. So a couple things to do is possibly try and reprice some of your inventory, especially some of the older inventory. You want to clean that out and run a very lean and mean type inventory. Part 2, be careful about some of your long tail inventory. I'm still going to send a fair amount in and just try and price and try and be the lowest price, whether I'm prime or merchant fulfilled, and try and chase that next sale. And if it doesn't sell as it approaches 11 to 12 to 13 months old, I'm probably going to consider pulling it. And I may also do a little bit of merchant fulfilled. I still like to value my time and be able to travel and have my business run in the background without having to be home and fulfill orders. We'll see how much we do with that with a kid at home now. So this is seller A. We've got another seller we'll show you. So I'm simply going to delete everything out of here. Now, if you do this, just delete the columns. So you can simply delete like that. Don't grab everything because you'll delete all the formulas behind it, and then you can download it again. So I'm going to grab the other seller's data real quick. Okay, this is a smaller seller. I'm going to paste their inventory in and go take a look. So this seller has about 10% of the inventory of the other seller, and you can see right away it's much more lean and mean already. This is probably what your inventory should look like moving forward. You can see the majority of their inventory is 0 to 3 months old. They have nothing over 12 months. It's a newer seller. You can see the number of units as well. And then most of their inventory is kind of in this 250,000 to 1 million range, another chunk in the 1 to 2 million, and then very little over 2 million rank. Again, it's fine to have some books that are ranked high. They're going to sell eventually, especially if you price them right and do your research before you buy them. But you don't want to build up an inventory that's 30 or 40 or 50% really long tail items. So you can see their average sale price is closer to $15, or their list price. The lowest prime price in the market's only 11, so they're priced maybe 20 to 30% higher, maybe almost 40% actually. So they may want to look at their pricing, and the lowest merchant fulfilled price on those exact same listings is a little closer to 9. Now, again, based on the old fee system, they're going to get one more bill from Amazon. It's Jeff Bezos' way of saying, here's one more bill. Their fees are only $650 when it comes to August 15. And again, a lot of this inventory is brand new. They're going to sell a chunk of that before then anyway. But at worst, it'll be $650. And then moving forward, if the fees kicked in today, very little of their inventory is already 6 months old, so this won't impact them very much. Their monthly bill would only be $17. So not a big deal. But again, it's very important to run a lean and mean system. So again, if you want to download this yourself, feel free. Again, it's free. Go to bit.ly/Amazon inventory tool. Make sure to capitalize the letters AINT and download that for yourself. Grab your inventory health report, plug it in, and see what you learn. Thanks for watching.